Or was he in the first one? Missile was in the Christmas case, right? Or is almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas? And he doesn't do anything? That's a good little dog. I should probably turn down the volume before I blow everyone's ears out. But yeah! We're doing more Phoenix Wright today. I almost didn't make it. I had a lot of running around to do today. Ooh, I should get my controller because I like to play with a controller because I'm console pilled. Let's get that junk. There we go. I'm mostly the reason I play these visual novels with a controller is so that you don't hear me clacking on my keyboard right on the other side of my mouse, because that sucks. That's no good. But yeah. We're gonna do this first. We're gonna do the first day of this trial. To catch you up. Last time. I'm gonna take a drink of this here real fast. Last time, Phoenix fell down a well. Not down a well. He fell into a ravine. And now Edgeworth is having to defend this girl who has the same face as Dahlia Hawthorne, who tried to blame Phoenix for murder and who killed Tommy Wiseau in the last case. We don't know what's going on. This lady is Misty Faye because her name is pseudonym. We've got to figure out what the heck is going on because she got killed. And Von Karma is the prosecuting attorney. She's come back to try and get one over on Edgeworth. And normally I'm used to doing Phoenix's voice, but we've got a whole new slew of stuff we're going to be doing. We got Von Karma and Edgy Boy. So let's just jump right into it. The murder victim is the famed picture book author, Miss Elise Donham. Her body was found in the Hazakura temple courtyard. She had been stabbed through the torso by a ceremonial sword from a golden statue. The sword in this picture there is the weapon in question, correct? Well, very well. The court accepts this photo of the crime scene there. There is no mistake. This was the doing of Sister Iris. After all, there is a witness to her crime. Very well. Please bring this witness to the stand over there. And so it begins. My first and last trial as a defense attorney. Oh, she's little! There she is! This is like the mother of the convent. And she's very small. Excuse me, I have this snack. Wow, hold on there. I'm not sure about being not sure if I care for this at all now. Witness, please stand up nice and straight there. She's got her little JoJo eyes. If I recall correctly, there are a few milk crates in the defendant's lobby for our back pain plagued witness. Bailiff! Fetch a crate for this poor lady there, please. On the double. Once again, your name and occupation, please. Oh, little old me. Well, I'm the head nun of Hazakura Temple on Eagle Mountain. My name is Bikini. You got it? Bikini. Nice to meet everyone. I think that's the voice I had for her. Like, ooh. But you don't appear to be wearing a bikini right now. The courtroom is the garden of holy judgment. Those with lechery in their hearts should leave this sanctuary at once. What? You want me to leave? No need to get your bikinis in a twist. Let me tell you, I'm a sight to behold in summer. In any case, witness, I hear that you saw the crime take place on the night in question. That's right. I can still hardly believe it myself, to be honest. There's no way dear little Iris could do anything like that. Well, let us hear what you have to say then. First, tell us about your own movements that night, eh? Tell us about your movements over there. A couple of hockey players come up to the stall the other day. That's okay, Tiara. I know it's late, but, I just hate missing, Especially multiple days in a row. Probably a lot of people won't be able to make it, but, I just wanted to stream it for me. But I am having fun. You have fun, too. We'll be excited for Monday. That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. So I left Iris to help the acolyte. What is this voice Oh! She's turning into my voice for, the Queen from Deltarune Chapter 2. Chris, get the banana. Who is that? I don't even know who this is an impersonation of. It's not quite. Really, child, sounds like this. Over the back of her throat. Oh, yes. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. There's no bath in the inner temple, you see, and I needed a long, hot soak. It was after I had finished, just as I was heading back. That's when I saw it. So it was simply coincidence that you found yourself returning to Hazakura Temple? Yes, you could say that. If my back hadn't been in so much pain, I would have stayed at the inner temple. That sounds like a pretty important statement she just made. There is only one problem with this testimony that I can see. And you're not about to fall at the first hurdle. Now, are you, Miles Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth, please, begin your cross-examination. Will do, buddy. The night of the murder. All right. Hold it! He definitely sounds a little posh in his barks. In his interjections. Show excitement or emotion. Hallelujah. What is this inner temple? Well, see, conversing with the spirits is what we train people to do, right? Well, we'll be the ones asking you the questions, madam. In order to do that, a place strong in spiritual power is required. There's a small temple across Dusky Bridge called the Inner Temple. Acolytes must spend an entire night there to undergo intense training. And how exactly do you help with this process? process, even?
It is all quite exacting.
Yes, that is that word. It's a weird use of that word, I feel like, but okay.
It can't be performed without a nun supervising.
Like a tutor watching to make sure a spoiled child studies. A tutor with a whip in your case. If that is the case, then why did you return to Hazakura Temple, where the murder took place? Her back is having trouble. Violently?
That's right. It's no laughing matter, especially in the winter. I can't hold anything heavier than a knife and fork during the cold months. Just being alive is like strict training.
On the night of the murder, was this fabulous back of yours hurting again?
That's right. Raging like a bull in a pig pen. I almost fainted once or twice. I just knew that unless I warmed it up, it was going to finally finish me off.
You left Iris to help. With what?
What do you think? The Acolyte's training, of course. It was just past 10 p.m., so we were starting to enter the training exercises proper.
Wasn't it your place to remain with the disciple there?
Well, the job is simply to watch over the Acolytes so that they don't pass away.
Just to confirm this point again, that night, you met Iris in the inner temple, correct? Do I have a testimony about that? Hazakura Temple map. Note to Iris. Iris's testimony. Okay. She was in her room the whole time. She didn't go. This image also does not line up with what. So there's an image that shows Iris stabbing the priest lady, right? And she's stabbing her further away and from a different side than she is here. Let me see if I can. So in the picture they show us, because they show you like flashes of little CGs when the witnesses are telling you what happened. And so in the image it shows Miss Elise Donim splayed out in like this direction, and it shows the statue in the background, and it shows Iris like right here standing sort of in front of the statue, stabbing her from the other way. So she should be facing the other way. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I could be misremembering, but that's what I remember seeing. And again, it might just be showing us a thing for no reason. And it's just like, it's supposed to be like, ooh, shocking. Oh, she's stabbing her. But Phoenix Wright tends to be pretty good about that stuff mattering. So I think we're supposed to be suspicious.
Yes, she's a gentle, honest girl. She's never once failed to follow my directions.
There's no bath at the inner temple. Excuse me. So you returned to Hazakura Temple in order to take a bath.
My back is to blame for everything. It's a do or be done in kind of world after all.
How long were you in the bath for, if you don't mind me asking?
My, what a filthy little rogue you are. I know what's on your mind. I bet your next question is going to be, where exactly did you wash? This is why you have to watch the young ones.
What are you going on? Ah!
Pathetic Miles Edgeverse. The lowest of the low.
Is there some sort of kick me sign stuck to the defense's bench?
Yes, there is. I'm very sorry, Miles. This is what I have to deal with every day.
Anyway, I couldn't afford to be away from my post for too long, you understand? So...
It was after I had finished, just as I was heading back, when I saw it.
The crime took place in the courtyard, correct?
When you go from my room to the main hall, you have to take a winding hallway from which you can see the courtyard.
That's right. In other words, it was pure coincidence that the witness saw the crime taking place before her eyes. There was no complicated setup in this case. That certainly seems to be true.
There is indeed only one problem with this testimony. If I can clearly point out what it is, then I can begin to quantify just how good this witness's memory and observation skills are.
Okay. Left Iris to help the Acolyte and return to Hazakura Temple. So, what we need to do is tell her that that didn't happen. Aha, music stops. That was pretty easy, though. I feel like that one's fairly obvious.
Witnesses have to undergo their own trials, I'm afraid. The defendant's fate rests on their powers of observation and memory, after all.
Well, don't worry. I'm more than up to the task. I'm a woman of faith, after all, the head honcho of Hazakura Temple.
In that case, Miss Honcho, I'd like you to explain something for me. The discrepancy between your testimony and that of the defendant, Iris. She claims that after ringing the lights out bell, she went back and stayed in her room. Which means she did not go to the inner temple at all.
No, she said that?
A defendant or a witness? Who is more likely to lie, do you suppose? The defendant is simply lying to cover her back.
But that is completely illogical. The murder was committed in the courtyard of Hazakura Temple. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would make for a much better alibi.
Yeah, moron. Like, that would be the obvious thing to do. Like, yeah, I was totally at the hidden temple. I couldn't have been back there. Like, it's impossible. Even Bikini says so. One second. I skipped lunch because I was busy out. And I just needed a little snack to keep me going. Because I don't want to be dead.
But that is odd. Whatever the reason, I can't believe she would lie.
Well, she does indeed have honest eyes there. All people lie. That is my belief. Well, why am I the only one being whipped in here? Well, anyway, neither the witness nor the defendant have any reason to lie. Which means... we must call your memory into question, ma'am.
Dear. You're older than me, and yet you want to play that game, do you?
She's gonna JoJo stare at you. She definitely has wait, I'm gonna find him. Let's have a transparent menacing kanji. Come on, these aren't yeah, here we go. I found him. All right, let's see if we can get her face back again. Oh, well, miss, I didn't exactly what I
My memory is perfect, crystal clear, especially in winter.
Look at her! It's perfect! I really like this. This is good. I should keep these around. Well then, I suppose it's too early to end this cross-examination, eh? Mr. Edgeworth, if you are going to question the memory of this witness, you'll need to show me a more decisive piece of evidence.
Understood, Your Honor. I was naive to think that alone would do the trick.
Then please add your comments about Iris to the testimony there. And let us return to the cross-examination. In the inner temple, but as you can see, Iris came to the inner temple. She was dressed exactly as she had been at dinner. Dinner. Well, that's wrong too. Because she was wearing her hood at dinner, but she gave her hood to Phoenix because she didn't want him getting, I don't know, oogly boogalied.
Are you sure that you're not making a mistake?
You, young man, need to get your estimation of me up from the floor.
It's so good. Look at her like angry face and her like weirdly defined lips. There's just something about it.
Iris always wears the same clothes. The smallest thing out of place would have stood out like a sore thumb to me. You're making a mistake, thinking I made a mistake.
Oh, an excellent finish there, witness.
Still, I have to wonder.
Okay, well, we know that's wrong. I'm just gonna keep saving these because I honestly don't care. I love to cheat. Hey lady, what about this thing?
Witness, let's get one thing straight. The defendant who you claim to have met, she was wearing this demon warding hood, correct?
Of course! That is a very important piece of clothing, I'll have you know. Wait a minute.
Hold it right there. Why do you have that?
That's the question of the day, now isn't it, Miss Von Karma? I'll have you know that this hood was given to someone as a gift that night, before the lights out bell was rung.
What?
You know where I'm going with this, don't you? If the witness had seen the defendant as she claims, then the Iris she saw would have been missing this very hood.
Well.
It's not a bad feeling at all, exposing contradictions like this. Now I understand that happy look on Wright's face every time he does it.
Order! Oh, jeez! Oh, God, goodness gracious! Sister, this hood. You have spare ones around the temple, don't you?
What? Spares? Well, I do tend to make too many of them.
Oh, I see. Stockpile. Surplus of hoods, eh?
Each nun is only given one hood. This should be the only hood that Iris owned.
Well then, this is quite strange. If there was a surplus of hoods, then she could have worn one of those. There's no contradiction here.
I'm sorry to break this to you, Miss Von Karma, But you won't get away that easily. Discrepancies such as this will sow seeds in any human heart. The seeds of doubt.
Witness! While I don't wish to call your testimony into doubt, you must give every detail with precision.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable going along with this.
Sister, you shall continue with your testimony. Tell us what you saw after finishing your bath, on your way back to the inner temple.
Those seeds of doubt are spreading in the judge's heart. They just need a little more stimulation to bear fruit. Contradictory stimulation.
Bumper. After the bath.
I finished my bath around 11, and I thought I should return to the inner temple. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look, and Iris was, oh, Mystic Elise, and with that sword of all things.
Yeah, okay. So, this looks... Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. She shoved the sword way further through. She's facing the other way. And also, I don't know. I don't want to say that that's Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit possessing Pearl. Because look, she looks like sad about it. She's like, oh gosh, oh geez. And Misty or Elise is like, oh my god.
And with that sword of all things. Mystic Elise was staying in the corner room, which faces out onto the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of a window.
You saw a truly terrible sight, didn't you? Oh, if I was in your place, then it would be much like Miss Von Karma whipping Mr. Edgeworth in court. Well, and me seeing it all from this very chair. Or well, something like that, I think.
This judge. His imagination is about as vivid and creative as Detective Gumshoe.
I would look the fool if I commented on such foolishness. Anyways, this case is mine, Miles Edgeworth.
Calling everyone by their full name. Can't you do something about that habit of yours?
Man, that was just like really, that was incredibly personal. It was like, oh, your laugh sucks. Like, gee, like, could you get... It's like, yeah, that thing that you do all the time, it's annoying. Ugh, he's so mean. Even when he's nice, he's mean.
I finished my bath around 11, and I thought I should return to the inner temple.
Oh, right. We're reading, or we're pressing now.
How far is it from your room to the inner temple?
Let me think a moment. About 20 minutes on these stumps of mine. It's about 15 minutes to Dusky Bridge from Hazakura Temple. The inner temple is just beyond the bridge.
Still, you never made it back there that night, did you?
That's right. I was heading along the walkway toward the main hall.
You say you heard a noise.
Thump. Just like that.
That could only be the sound of the victim falling.
It's very quiet in the temple, you know. You can even hear the snow falling from the branches. Thump! Just like that!
Oh, but then... Goodness knows you heard have been some snow falling to the ground there.
I never thought of that.
Oh! The next one to laugh gets a whipping.
Well, whatever the source of the sound, I looked over at the courtyard.
And with that sword.
This is the second time that the witness has testified to seeing the defendant. But some doubt remains in these claims.
Hey, just what does that mean? Just because you're a good-looking young man doesn't give you the right to...
The murderer who stabbed the victim with the sword. Sister Bikini, try to recall exactly who it was you saw, as clearly as you can.
Well, you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. Oh, now that you mention it, there was something awfully strange about her. Something that has been bugging me all this time.
Please, don't keep us in suspense.
Her hood!
A hood?
That's right. It's coming back to me. Iris, she wasn't wearing her hood. I thought something was out of place, but...
Second.
It all makes sense now, doesn't it? After all, she'd given that hood away to someone, right?
You've dug your own grave, Miles Edgeworth. What do you say, Mr. Edgeworth? Is this testimony important?
This may initially appear to put me at a disadvantage, but I can't see any other leads at the moment. Your Honor, I would like these new statements to be added to the testimony.
Miles Edgeworth, if you want to hang yourself, you need to only to ask. I'll gladly lend you my whip. Yeah, whatever. I gotta put covers on my legs, 'cause it's cold. It's cold today. It's all rainy and crummy. Ooh, and I've got this weird rash on my arm because I'm dry and it's cold and it's no fun. Witness, add that statement to your testimony.
No problem.
Ba, 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 ba. All right. Iris didn't have her hood on.
You are sure about that?
Yes, after all, we always wear the same clothes. I don't mean because we're poor, you understand. It's our style. Yes, that's it.
There's absolutely no need to explain yourself.
Anyway, she looked different from normal, so that really stuck out.
Like me holding a whippet puppy instead of my whip.
At least then it might bite you and not someone else.
Iris didn't have her hood on. I'm sure of it.
Ah, very well. Now, please, tell us about the victim, eh? Staying in the corner room which faces out onto the courtyard.
The room the victim was staying in overlooked the courtyard, correct?
Which means the victim's room was on the second floor then?
No. Hazakura Temple is a single-story building, but the mountain itself slopes downward, which elevates the main gate side of the temple and the guest rooms in the back to about the height of a two-story building.
Oh, I see. And the victim there, was staying in one of these elevated rooms, correct?
Yes, I should know. I'm the one who carried her things to her room, after all.
Must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window.
What makes you so sure of all this?
It's just like I told you earlier. I heard a noise from the courtyard, okay? Thump, just like that.
You're one smart sister, I'll give you that. The autopsy report states that the victim's body was covered in bruises. indicating a fall from around 10 feet in height. But aren't they posthumous? They're posthumous though. After death, yeah, you're insane. The prosecution better use our whole evidence there. Back in ancient Rome, you know. It appears the witness was not mistaken then.
Yep. I'm more than just a pretty face, especially in winter. I'm a woman of faith after all, the head honcho of Hazakura Temple.
And there's only 2 of them working there.
What's wrong, Miles Edgeverse? No snappy comeback remark.
It doesn't feel like she's lying. This is very powerful testimony, too. She claims to have seen the instant in which the defendant stabbed the victim. There are only 2 things I can believe in right now. My client, Iris, my own abilities as a defense attorney.
Okay, so after. Well, that's not true. That's not what happened.
Impressive logic. That's what I like to say, anyway.
Oh, please do! My brain is something else, especially in winter.
However, I think that you are overlooking one thing. Miss Von Karma, would you be so kind as to take another look at the autopsy report?
The autopsy report?
The victim did fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed.
Ah! Well, that's right. It says after death right there.
The scene the witness claims to have seen is contradictory. If the defendant stabbed and killed the victim there in the courtyard, how did the victim then go on to take a 10-foot fall?
Oh no! Oh no! That's where it's too smart. He's too good at the job. I think my shirt is aggravating me. I don't know what it is. It feels like there's a loose, thread jabbing into my arm, and it's just scratching me enough that I cannot. Woo! Could not ignore it. All right, we should be good now. Order! Order! The victim was killed and then fell. If that's the case, well then the victim must have been killed in her room. Don't you agree? That is the logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room, and she was then thrown out of her window into the courtyard below.
Were there any signs of a struggle in Miss Donim's room? She was stabbed with a sword. That would leave a blood stain. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, Miss Von Karma, was there any blood? Ah! No traces of blood were found in the victim's room. Your whip has just caused traces of blood to be found on my glorious playoff beard. I love this judge so much. Oh, however, if there jeez. Don't you get brazen with me, young lady. I'm sure there's no need for me to go over this, as I'm sure your honor is well aware of when a stab wound produces the most blood. Well, when it produces the most blood, very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed I mean, that's true. But, you know, when you stab someone, there's still blood that comes out. Like, I do get what she's saying, though. And this is why you should never remove a knife from someone until a medical professional arrives. Because, one, you're just going to cut them up again. You're going to create more lacerations. And you're going to cause the knife, which is plugging all the blood in there, to be gone and allow all the blood to spill out. So, as much as it seems like, oh no, harmful object, remove harmful object, it's not really that simple. But I feel like that's pretty common knowledge at this point.
Indeed. With the weapon still in place, it acts like a lid on the wound.
Well, that's true. With the weapon still in the body, there wouldn't be much bleeding there. A perfectly reasonable line of thinking. I like how Edgeworth's like, yeah, that's true. Like, you're not wrong about that. It's not like Phoenix, who's surprised when anyone, like, challenges him. He's like, yeah, that's, you know, okay. We have come to a conclusion, then. The victim was thrown out of the window with the sword still in place. This removes all the contradictions. But, like... Order! I must admit that this is a probable version of events.
Well, I'd expect no less from Franziska von Karma. She locates and takes control of every vital point.
Boy, it seems that we need a clearer testimony from the witness there. Remove all suspicion on your part and tell us only the facts, please. Witness, please, remain standing on the crate there.
Don't go selling me short now.
Menacingly approaches. I should just keep this up for her.
The weight of winter snow has bent me out of shape. Especially my back and mood.
Okay, you don't get it, Von Karma. You're not nearly as menacing as Bikini's little scary face. Sister, please, give us your testimony. I will give you a vigorous message once we are finished here. Massage, excuse me.
With the whip?
Oh boy. Ooh, all right. When I looked across the scene, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. I've never seen so much blood before. That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? And when I awoke, Mystic Amy was stabbing Mystic Elise through the back.
This all confirms Miss Von Karma's theory. Von Karma strive for nothing but perfection. Putting together such facts is nothing for me. You should know that, Miles Edgeworth.
Perfection is an impossibility, Franziska von Karma. And I'm here to teach you just that. At that time, was the victim bleeding?
Well, I was very shocked to be seeing all this, of course. So I'm not entirely sure. But I don't think I saw any blood. Not then.
I'm sure that you didn't. The weapon was acting as a plug in the wound.
In any case, let's be clear on one very important point. Did you actually see the instant in which the victim
I didn't actually sear stab Mystic Elise. Objection. Defense moves to... Just... Mistrial. No, there's no evidence. My client literally has done nothing wrong. This lady was lying.
Think very carefully. This is very important.
It's Iris we're talking about here. I'm thinking for all I'm worth. No, when I looked over, the sword was already in Mystic Elise's body.
It might not be conclusive, but this testimony supports her theory.
The victim was stabbed in her room and then dropped into the courtyard. I think this proves it rather well, Miles Edgeworth.
So you're saying that you saw the victim's blood?
That's right. Some of it had splattered onto Iris, too.
When the defendant was arrested, she was meditating in her room, and her blood-flecked clothing was neatly folded in the corner.
What? Her clothes were blood-flecked as well.
That seems quite conclusive to me.
What should I do? Press this point further? Going back to your previous statement, you said that you saw little bleeding when the victim was stabbed, but now you say that you saw the victim bleeding.
Well, I say that what I saw is what I saw.
What did you see then?
Maybe I didn't see the poor woman get stabbed, but I saw the girl pull the sword out of her, plain as day.
Pulling the sword out.
Well, it wasn't exactly pulling, it was more like it came out.
Witness, you will add this statement to your testimony.
Oh, was that important?
More important than you can imagine.
Plunged in to the hilt was smoothly drawn out.
Smoothly, you say? You're saying you're saying you saw the sword smoothly slide out.
That's right. The whole thing happened right next to the gold statue of Mystic Amy. Mystic Elise was on the ground, and Iris was stooped over her. The sword was buried up to the hilt. When Iris stood up, the sword in her hand just slid out of Mystic Elise's body. It slid out from that gaping wound. Ah!
Why, it goes without saying that if the sword was removed, there would be bleeding. Nothing out of place here.
Is that really the case? I can't help but feel that something about this testimony is very out of place.
Well, it absolutely is, because it's just got a little blood on it, which I mentioned earlier. I mentioned how it absolutely does not look like very much of it went in. And it looked like she was pushing way more through than in that CG.
That something which couldn't possibly have happened appears to have happened.
I've never seen so much blood before.
We gotta press everything. We gotta do it though. It's important. I'm all about content, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, on to what the killer did next. You saw none of it, correct?
Well, I was unconscious.
How long were you out for?
I don't know. 10, maybe 20 minutes. A young man with a very prickly looking head woke me up. By stepping on me, actually.
I'm not sure I like that method of resuscitation there.
Well, I wasn't asking for mouth-to-mouth or anything of the sort. But I would have welcomed a more gentle awakening right about then, let me tell you.
I shall have words with the offender personally. What did you see upon awakening?
Mystic Amy was stabbing. Mystic Amy? I guess I've kept skipping over this. What are you talking about, Mystic Amy?
By Mystic Amy, you are referring to the golden statue, correct?
Right. Duh. I forget. This repositioned.
Just stabbing someone with the Shichi Shito as a sacred treasure is terrible enough. But to then make Mystic Amy hold the blade!
Truly a heinous, despicable crime.
It is easy to despise something. Anyone can do it. However, there is something that cannot be done so easily.
Whatever it is, I'm sure it's doubly hard for you. Anyway, what is the problem?
Exactly why would the killer set up this gruesome scene? Can anyone explain the reasoning behind that?
No, I don't think I can. There isn't always a logical reason behind why someone acts.
That's true. So true. In early spring, for example, I often find myself...
That isn't always. That phrase might come in handy someday. There are too many unnatural elements in this case. Why was it necessary to use the Shichi Shito from the Amy statue as a weapon? Why was the weapon ultimately placed back in the hand of the statue? If I can expose the flaws with this testimony, perhaps then I will be able to begin to find the truth.
Okay. Plunged into the hilt. Well, that's rug.
Sister Bikini, you are a reliable witness. At least I'd like to think so. But there are too many contradictions here.
What do you mean? You make it sound as though I'm a liar. But you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you.
What contradictions are you talking about?
In the scene that the witness claims to have seen, the weapon was thrust up to its hilt into the victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are complete impossibilities.
Whoa, what do you mean? More? Explain yourself.
To start with, do you think it would be possible to stab someone to the hilt with this? No matter how I look at the defendant, she doesn't appear strong enough for that.
Doesn't appear. What meaningless dribble. I too may appear to be weak and frail. But I can crush men under my heel and make them weep, should I so choose. The objection stands! I wept a little back there, I must admit.
That isn't the only issue here. If the sword was truly stabbed into the body up to the hilt, well, just look at the branches on it. It clearly wouldn't come out smoothly.
That's...
We also have the problem of the amount of bleeding. It's true that when a blade is left in a body, it acts as a plug of sorts. However, when the weapon is shaped like this, it's an entirely different story. The wound would be too large for the blade to completely stop the bleeding.
That's nothing more than conjecture. In reality, the victim was stabbed with a Shichi Shito. Even a weapon of this nature may still sometimes slide out smoothly, and may still sometimes stop the blood loss.
I'm not finished. There is still one more conclusive contradiction.
You've still got more!
This one is simple. If this sword really was thrust in all the way to the hilt, why is there only blood on the tip of it? If this witness is telling the truth, then there should be blood along the entire length of the sword.
No! Oh! No! This cave is full of ein Blutsmoken. It's full of ein Bluntensmoken. Oh! Bravo, Miles Edgeverse. Raising this many contradictions from a single piece of evidence. All the other attorneys I know could maybe manage one, if that. Oh, but what does it all mean? It's starting to look like a triple rainbow. What does this mean? Oh, boomer meme. Man, I've been on the internet too long. You've proven contradictions regarding the murder weapon, but
Having come this far, there can only be one answer.
and that is
The weapon used to kill the victim was not the Shichi Shito.
what? A foolish idea, born from the foolish mind of a foolhardy foolish fool.
Let's examine this again. What was it that made us think the sword was the murder weapon?
Well, it's because Mr. Gamey was holding it.
Exactly. However, if you reflect on this, that is the only basis we have to assume such a thing. The impression left by the scene was just too strong. That is what influenced us. It influenced us to believe that the Shichi Shito was the murder weapon. Ba-ba!
Order! Oh! So maybe the Shichi Shito was not the murder weapon. Even if that is the case, it changes nothing, Miles Edgeverse. The sister here saw everything. She saw the defendant stab the victim with a sword-like object. Well, that's true. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth.
If that is so, I would like the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises.
The obvious question?
Yes, namely, where did the real murder weapon disappear to?
Thank you. I love you, Edgeworth. See, this is really interesting, because what Edgeworth is doing, because Phoenix never does this, because Phoenix is sort of passive. He always wants to wait for the prosecution to say something and then refute it. But Edgeworth is actually going after Von Karma and saying, okay, you're saying that now you have to prove my theory. I'm not gonna sit around and let you postulate. I'm actually gonna come up with something and put the onus on you, since apparently that's something you can do. You can just say, prove what I'm saying is wrong. Prove a negative. Prove that this didn't happen, which of course is impossible. But since you can do it, I really appreciate Edgeworth just doing it.
It goes without saying that the police searched the main hall and the surrounding area. Perhaps the prosecution can enlighten us as to if a sword-like object was found.
That's... Well, answer the question, Miss Von Karma. No evidence of that kind was found. Another mystery to throw onto the pile. A trial without a murder weapon is a tricky beast.
Excuse me, could I say something? I just remembered something, actually.
What is it, sister?
I was just thinking, it's possible that just maybe what actually happened was, it was just over there.
What exactly are you going on about here?
The murder weapon, I mean. Maybe, I think I might know where the sword was disposed of.
You what?
Well then, I think we need to hear testimony from you one more time, sister.
Impossible. What else? What else could this old woman have seen?
The color scheme changes completely. Wait. Can I... Where's my capture for this? I want to make a nice little This is stupid. Excuse me while I take the time to do this. But let's go to filters, edit filters. Yes, it's perfect. Look at her. Let's see. Let's fuck it up more. Since this is just for me, I'm gonna sit here and play with this. Sharpen. What is sharpen gonna do? No, that doesn't do anything. That just makes it goofier. I want to try and make it like... Yeah, just get that out of here. Color correction. Yeah, let's change the colors around. You can make it darker. No. Get it more contrast. Or what? Why is the contrast? You know what? I don't even want to think about why that is. Saturation. Yeah, get some JoJo hue shift in there. Just change the colors. Screw it. What other color? Let's make it. What if it was purple? Oh god. Oh, it's such a nightmare. Oh, I have to fix it. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm having so much fun with this. Oh, it's because it's inverted. That's why it's... Yeah, there. That's why. This is so stupid. I'm just gonna delete this. Anyway, we had our fun. Got our nice little our JoJo pose in there. I love that you have so many tools in OBS to do that kind of stuff, to mess with like the color and things. It's really nice. It gives you a lot of control.
I saw the murder at around 11 p.m. And after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. And there, I saw tracks that indicated the snowmobile had been used. It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out. Iris could have done that. She can drive a snowmobile after all.
Witness, please tell us everything you know right away next time.
Well, I'm not in the best of shape. What with my back and my age, you know?
Quite. There were indeed snowmobile tracks in front of the main gate. Here is a photograph.
A snowmobile, eh? I see. Well, it certainly is an interesting theory.
The tracks begin in front of Hazakura Temple. and run all the way to Dusky Bridge. That solves your pesky little problem, yes? The Eagle River's current is quite swift, meaning that it doesn't freeze over in the winter, making it the perfect place to dispose of the murder weapon.
Did she really go to the river to dispose of the murder weapon?
Mr. Edgeworth, your cross-examination, please. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a look at this map. That doesn't help us. So, the murder took place. This is where the snowmobile is. So I guess the murder took place like over here inside the walls. Because the okay, let's go back. There are tracks going this away, but there are no tracks that lead to the snowmobile. And then I don't know. Occult, it's them. Weather data, lightning struck. Hazakura temple map. Iris's note thing. But the scroll that's got Misty Faye on it. Huh. Well, I don't see anything immediately jump out to me. We'll just have to wait and see.
I saw the murder.
You are sure about the time?
Yes, I was worried about it after all.
Why was that?
Because I have a strong sense of responsibility, especially at this time of year. The acolyte was being doused in freezing water at the time. I couldn't very well take it easy in the bath all night, now could I? And so at 11, I decided to leave Hazakura Temple.
Her estimation of the time seems reliable, at least.
Please, continue, sister.
And after asking them blah blah,
You asked Phoenix Wright to report the crime, correct?
Right, the one who trampled me.
It seems she is the type to hold a grudge.
There isn't a phone in the main hall, so I sent him to the bridge.
Phoenix Wright. He didn't even have his cell phone on him.
He had forgotten it at home, apparently.
What a naive boy, as always. Not only do I always carry my phone, but I always have my whip in hand, too.
Anyway, I was really scared, and it was taking him a while to get back. So I thought I'd go out by the main gate for a spell. And there I saw tracks that indicated the snowmobile had been used.
As I recall, there was a snowmobile outside the main gate when I visited.
The only one we have. It'll run no matter how much snow falls.
Now you're certain the snowmobile was there at the main gate when you arrived?
Yes, of course. It was parked in front of the gate.
So she had already gone, discarded the murder weapon, and returned by that time.
I'm not sure if this is really relevant. What should I do? I need answers to every possible doubt. The snowmobile in question. Was it still warm at that time?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
She even said, you know, I keep making jokes about JoJo face. She even said your next line is. I totally forgot to pick up on that. I saw like, oh shit, haha, she said your next line is where exactly did you wash? What do you mean, eh?
What do you mean, Miles Edgeverse? I'm playing to a slow crowd here. It goes without saying that using a snowmobile will heat its engine. If it was still warm, then it means it was recently used.
Oh, I see. I never thought of that.
Well, that's right. I overlooked that too.
Of course you did. Then answer the question, please, witness.
I don't often go around touching hot engines. However, now that you mention it, there wasn't any snow on it.
Snow.
Yes, for some reason only the snowmobile wasn't covered in snow.
Hey, I mean, that's pretty good.
There wasn't any snow on it. Curses!
Well, it seems highly likely that the killer did use the snowmobile then, eh? Well, let's see. Let's check out the weather data. Snow with occasional lightning strikes. Snow 7 to approximately 10:50. So after 11, there wouldn't have been any more snow to put on it. And it had snow on it after I got there. I knew that would come up. How long does it take to get Dusky Bridge by snowmobile? Takes 15 minutes to walk, but less than 5 using one of those.
If in that case, why didn't you use it yourself? You could have spared yourself some walking.
There's a reason for that. Have we got a moment for me to explain?
I think that's why the question was asked in the first place there.
It was about a month ago. I was driving my beloved little snowmobile, happy as can be. I'd fetched some water and was heading back when I went and crashed into a tree. The tree and my back both went crunch, just like that. Crunch!
Crunch!
I haven't been able to find the courage to ride anything since then. Anyway, the killer must have used it.
Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back.
Refresh our memory. How long were you knocked out for?
Like I said, somewhere between 10 to 20 minutes.
It's possible to get to the bridge and back in 10 minutes using the snowmobile.
I have to concede, that is more than enough time.
Is that all you wish to concede, Miles Edgeverse?
While it would have been possible time-wise, one element remains out of place here.
Oh, Anna, what would this mystery element be?
The killer's reasoning, Your Honor. Why did the killer do all of this? Why go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon when there are other methods?
Too many unanswered questions there. Your response, Miss Von Karma. Oh! Turning to me for help over the slightest thing. Why don't you sing for yourself once in a while, Your Honor? Oh, what?
She's as over the top as always.
Anyway, whatever the reason, the fact remains that the defendant could have done this. The murder weapon was disposed of in the river. Another point to me, Miles Edgeverse.
Another mystery to feed the fire. Was there any reason to go and throw away the murder weapon?
Sorry. I had to take a drink there. My throat's been weird. 1 second. I try to be quiet so I don't just crinkle it right in the microphone, because that's annoying.
Luckily, there is surely a problem with this testimony. Now all I have to do is start poking holes in this flawed account.
Saw the murder around 11 p.m. Okay, I'm gonna save. And try to do the weather report. Because I think that that's gonna be takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge. So if she saw at 11 and went out to the main gate, and there I saw tracks. Tracks that indicated the snowmobile man used. It takes 15 minutes to get to Dusky Bridge. Less than 5 using one of those. So well, we know that what's his face, that Larry was down there. I'm trying to put together, so where do I use this? I think it's let's try it here. I mean, I did save, so it can't hurt. No. That statement contradicts the data provided by this piece of evidence. Well, it does? Well, how do you mean? Forgive me, Your Honor, but you just said yourself that it does. Well, don't try to play mind games with me. Curses. It appears I have yet to adjust to being on this side of the courtroom. That's actually, I really like that, actually. He's like, you just said so. Like, Phoenix immediately backs down, but Edgeworth is like, no. Absolute girl boss. Gaslight that man. Do it, do it. So we have the photo. Takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge. Maybe they threw the weapon into the Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out. I guess we can look at this. There's only one set of tracks, though. Unless they were incredibly precise, there's only the one set of tracks. Does that work? Drive the snowmobile after all. Came back. I think and came back is the thing here. Yeah, there we go. I admit this photograph proves something. It proves that the snowmobile was used on the night of the murder. You finally accepted the inevitable, it seems, Miles Edgeworth. However, if what the witness says is true, then why is there only one set of tracks? What do you mean? Iris left Hazakura Temple, threw the weapon into the river, and then returned. If this was the case, then naturally there should be two sets of tracks in the snow. Those from heading out to the bridge, and those from coming back.
Oh, you're right!
You are forgetting one thing, Miles Edgeworth. On the night of the murder, it was snowing. The tracks leading to the bridge were erased by the snowfall. This removes your precious contradiction now, doesn't it? Oh, I see. While she was at the river, the snow stopped, leaving just the return tracks in the snow. What do you have to say now, Miles Edgeworth? Is there a flaw in her theory? This idea that the snowfall covered one set of the tracks. Yeah, there is a contradiction. This is what I was trying to prove earlier because of the snowfall and the tracks and the snow. Yeah.
The tracks to the river were covered by snow. What a nice theory. However, Miss Von Karma, that is impossible.
Would you care to explain why there is a rude index finger currently pointed in my general direction?
No need. The evidence will do all the talking for me.
On the night of the murder, the killer went to and returned from Dusky Bridge. In order to dispose of the murder weapon, the outgoing tracks were erased by the snow. Or so claims Miss Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth, present your evidence to the contrary, eh? Evidence that the outgoing tracks were not covered by snow. Well, I happen to have those right here.
Witness, please tell us again what time it was when you witnessed the crime.
Like I said, it was around 11.
Of course. This means that the weapon was thrown away after that time, correct? On that note, please take a look at this data. It is the weather report for Eagle Mountain on the night of the murder.
What the? What weather report, eh?
Snow started to fall at 7 p.m., but it stopped at around 10:50. Therefore, when the sister witnessed the crime at 11 p.m., the snow had already stopped falling. It is impossible for any tracks made after that time to have been covered up.
Oh my!
Order! Order! Very well then. Looks like Miss Von Karma's claim has been, snowed in, eh? It's too soon to be closing this trial due to snow. Miles Edgeworth, how pathetic of you to rely on the weather of all things. Answer me this then. When is the weather report ever correct? Ah, no. You've got it all wrong. This isn't a forecast. This is actual data. Whoa! Forecast data, all weather reports have some inaccuracies. It may have still been snowing in the vicinity well past 11 p.m. That's true. We cannot be totally sure, eh?
What? How did she pull that off?
It had stopped snowing at Hazakura Temple when the murder took place. You need to provide conclusive evidence of this.
I've come this far. There's no turning back now. Very well. I too cannot allow any doubt to remain concerning this testimony.
Ha! You can't back down, can you? You're such a perfectionist, Miles Edgeworth. Well, very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. Where is your evidence that it had been already snowing, or that it had already stopped snowing when the victim was killed? Well, I have the literal photo of her. That's kind of there's snow on all this other stuff, but not on her. It went exactly when the victim was killed. I gotcha, buddy.
Ultimately, it all comes down to one point. That being, whether or not it was snowing in that courtyard when the victim was stabbed.
That's right, but proving that is
incredibly easy. If we want to know whether it was snowing or not, this photo will tell us everything. Of course, I am referring to the photo of the crime scene. As you can see, everything is covered with snow. With just one exception.
And that is
the victim herself, Miss Elise Donim. Why is there no snow on top of her? The answer is simple. It had stopped snowing when she was killed. That's why. In other words, if the killer really did go to Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon, then in this photograph, there should be 2 sets of tracks.
Order! Order! Just what are you suggesting, Miles Edgeworth?
To be honest, I am not entirely sure myself, but this is simply what all of the facts point to. That night, someone used the snowmobile to leave Hazakura Temple. From the tracks left, it can be understood that they were heading for Dusky Bridge. At that time, it was still snowing.
What? Almost did the wrong voice there. Of course it was, because those tracks were erased by the snow.
Then, when this person returned to Hazakura Temple, the snow had stopped. Thus, the return tracks remained.
There's still the 1 tracks of footprints.
Can I say something? This all sounds a bit fishy to me.
What does, sister?
There is only 1 key for the snowmobile.
Furthermore, on the night in question, we know that the defendant had it. The key was found in her room after the murder.
Which can only mean that night, Iris used the snowmobile to go to the inner temple.
But Iris said that she never went there. I should probably press on this point some more when I get the chance.
The snowmobile can cross the suspension bridge. So she must have left it on the Hazakura side of the bridge and crossed on foot.
Well, that sounds right.
But what's odd is when I left Iris and returned to Hazakura Temple, I didn't see anything near Dusky Bridge.
You must have just failed to see it, sister.
Maybe, but when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there, by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean. I know what I saw. It was covered in snow, too.
But that isn't possible.
Order! Order there! Order in the court, eh? What does it all mean?
So then what was the snowmobile used for? It wasn't taken by the defendant when she went to the inner temple. If it had been, then the witness couldn't possibly have seen it by the gate. Furthermore, it wasn't used by the killer to dispose of the murder weapon. If that was the case, there would be 2 sets of tracks in this photo. All we know is this. After it stopped snowing, someone used the snowmobile to return to Hazakura Temple. I never thought a simple snowmobile could cause so much trouble.
I think we've learned all we can from this witness.
Yes. I've nothing more to add. I've told you everything. Everything that I know.
But then... Well, that still leaves us with the same problem, eh? If only there was someone, a witness who could testify to having seen the snowmobile.
A witness, huh?
Was there no one out? walking perhaps near Dusky Bridge on that night, eh?
I don't think that's likely. It was cold enough to freeze your ears off. Only an idiot would go out wandering in that. Unless they had something really important to do.
Well, that's a shame.
Hold on. Something's coming to me. An idiot may well have gone wandering out on that subarctic night. Your Honor, actually, there just might be one individual who may be of help to us.
Really?
You know of someone who might have seen the snowmobile on the night of the murder?
I don't know for sure if he saw it or not, but there are two things about him that do come to mind.
Which are?
First, that he saw something incredible on the night of the murder.
And the second being that he's stupid enough to be out.
This individual that I am thinking of went wandering outside on that cold night. In other words, he is our kind of idiot.
Yes! Mr. Edgeworth, who is this idiot you're talking about? Larry Butts, age 25. Let's look at all the... We're just gonna read these first. Okay, so Phoenix Wright,
My friend since grade school, fell from Dusky Bridge and is currently hospitalized.
Hospital, near Temple, currently missing.
Godot. He apparently holds some sort of grudge against Wright. A picture book author of unknown age, Larry's teacher. Iris doesn't seem to have any spiritual power. Larry Butts, age 25. My friend since grade school. I don't remember how we became friends though. My mentor, Manfred von Kammer's daughter, born and raised in Germany, prosecutor at 13.
I don't remember how we became friends though. That's really funny. Whoa, jeez. This guy must be a product of Jean-Luc Deladuc's Guide to Obnoxious French Painting.
This is Larry Butts, a disciple of the victim, Elise Stoneham.
Well, her student. Oh, that's interesting. Then why was he wandering about outside on the night of the murder?
That's... I could tell them all about his designs for Iris, but it may cost us his credibility as a witness before I even call him. He is, after all, an artist. He was, perhaps, searching for something in the snowy scenery that would move him. Although I cannot guarantee this is the reason.
Edgeworth is really smooth. I like how they're actually making Edgeworth smoother than Phoenix, because, like, Phoenix just does a good job. Like, he wins the cases. But he really does not inspire confidence, despite his incredible record. He pretty obviously, is not someone who you totally would love to put your trust in. Edgeworth is like, well, I don't know, it could be, maybe he was looking for something that would move him. Like, he knows how to play the audience. Phoenix is like, I don't know, I just have the facts, man. I just have, like, these pieces of evidence. Please believe me. And so, this unfortunate, unreliable-looking man, what exactly was it that he saw?
I intend to extract that from him, right here in this courtroom.
Summon this youth as a witness, immediately! have no choice, do I?
I believe he is in the gallery for this trial. It will not take long to summon him.
Whoa, very well.
Larry. You may have escaped me yesterday, but today I'm going to get everything out of you.
Court will now adjourn for a 20-minute break there. Miss Von Karma, please see to preparing the next witness. Understood, Your Honor. Oh, good. Well then, court is now in recess. Hooray! Well, I think that's gonna be all we do for today. Ooh, I just wanted to get a little bit in because I felt bad not streaming yesterday and being busy today. It just feels like crap. So, a little quick, like couple hour stream, almost couple hours, hour 30. We're ending it around the normal time. That's all right with me. So tomorrow we're doing a big stream. We are going to be playing Shin Megami Tensei 5. Thank you, Shin Megami Tensei 5. And we're going to be doing it for like 8 hours. I think I'll start a couple hours early. I might start at like 11. Might go nuts. Might get it going. It's going to be a fun one. I'm super duper excited about this game. Everything I've seen about it, I haven't read any reviews. I haven't looked at any like things like that. I'm going to go in totally blind. People are probably going to start streaming it, you know, tonight at 9 my time. I'm not going to watch them, I promise. We're going to go in hard, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Nocturne's what got me started streaming. I started it because I'm like, man, you know, people talk about Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne all the time. And I just finished, you know, Persona again, because I think that was around the time that Royal came out. So I was like, yeah, I'm doing that. And I like the Persona games, and I've always wanted to get into SMT, so I might as well start with Nocturne. And that's where I met Sabaka. That's how I got the ball rolling. A lot of my first followers came from there, so it, like, the series means a lot to me. It didn't mean much to me before I started, but it's really come to kind of be a part of my identity. So I will see you all tomorrow for the run backening. Have a good day, everybody. Kiss your mom and all that stuff. Good night.